You know what really throws me for a loop? So the first Conjuring takes place in 1971, right? Which, if you don't know what this is the first case presented in a movie of Ed and Lorraine Warren, who are two, like, paranormal demonologists. They're both dead now. Lots of people say they're fake. A lot of people believe they're real. That whole thing is up to you. I'm just relaying as to what the movie is. But in 1971, this family of 7 moved into this house in the middle of nowhere-ass Massachusetts. Or I think it was Massachusetts. It was old and kind of fucking dirty, and the toilet didn't work. But, you know, it was a nice-ass house. It was a big-ass house. You gotta think, they probably bought that house for, like, 3 strawberries. Anyway, as soon as they move in, weird shit starts happening. Okay, the dog... Oh, by the way, the dog dies. The dog does not make it. Pictures are getting knocked off walls. It's knocking on everything. It's talking to the youngest girl that nobody else can see. But one of these girls I feel the worst in particular for, because for some odd reason, it just singled her out as Meg. And of course, you know, it's talking to the youngest girl, and it tries to kill the youngest girl eventually. But, like, okay, so with, like, super small children, they say all the time that they can see things that others can't, so I'm not even including her in this, okay? The one particular girl, out of 5 entire girls, is getting singled out as the Meg because she's trying to sleep at night and the fucking ghost keeps dragging her by the ankle towards the end of the bed when she's just trying to sleep. And then it wants to hide in the fucking corner of her room and tell her that it wants the family dead. Like, damn, can't Christine get one night of peace? And it smells bad. It smells like rotting meat. And it makes one of the girls, like, sleepwalk and fucking headbutt this damn wardrobe that's been in this house a long ass time. Oh, and it, like, beats the shit out of the mom while she sleeps. She wakes up every day with different fucking bruises. It looks like she went toe-to-toe with Mike Tyson. And so at some point, the mom meets the Warrens at the seminar at one of the colleges, and they come by and they're taking a look around. And, you know, Lorraine can, like, see the dead. She's clairvoyant, right? So what we find out is that the land that the house is on was originally like a 200-acre plot of farmland owned by a lady who was a distant relative of a woman who was burned during the Salem writ. What we have learned is that the owner of the 200-acre plot land was a distant relative of a woman who was burned during the Salem witch trials. We're not certain how far related, but apparently the relative was also into witchcraft. She sacrifices her newborn, runs up a tree, declares her love for Satan, and curses anybody who tries to live on the land, and then, you know. Hence the tree in the picture, and that I had to cover up because I don't know if I'm going to get yoinked on here. But anyways, after that, so a woman moves on to the land in the 30s with her son. And then the son goes missing, and she does the exact same thing, but in the basement of the house. And then the rest of the movie is trying to exorcise the demon. And that's all you need to know. But here's my thoughts and questions. Okay, so number 1, they didn't know originally the house had a basement. They bought it from the bank, so obviously they're not going to know shit. But the reason they didn't initially know they had a basement is that it was walled up in this little closet under the stairs. Okay, I get that. So the dad goes down and he's taking a look around and shit, and there's like shit all piled in there, like really old shit. We're talking furniture, heavy ass furniture. And we talking spider webs as thick as my ass on top of everything. So it's been down there a while. And he's like, well, what's all this? And his wife's like, probably just junk. And that's where you got me. It's 1971. Antiques for 1971 would be things from like the 30s, the 20s, the 10s, reaching back to probably the 1880s. But even then, even if you were only to go like 10 years back into the 60s, I can't imagine any of that furniture would be junk. That is all handcrafted, handmade, heavy-ass oak wood fucking furniture, not made on a damn conveyor belt. They didn't have fucking IKEA. No, ma'am, I don't think it was probably junk. My apologies, I will step off that soapbox. But it does leave me with a question. Obviously, as they bought it from the bank, and they said they have no idea who bought this house beforehand. However, we know that the last lady who did the thing was there in the 30s. So 30s to 1971, we're looking at roughly like a 40-year gap. It had to have been during that 40-year gap that they walled up the basement. Who had the time and the manpower to move all the heavy-ass furniture down all those stairs inside of a scary-ass basement? I'm talking wardrobes, tables, there's a whole ass piano down there. Could you imagine trying to two-man an entire piano down a set of stairs in the middle of a haunt? A malicious one? It's like trying to move furniture with cats around. I don't recommend that either. But overall, I do remember when this first came out, and I do remember it being one of the better horror films, and honestly, it still holds up. If it were in the dark and I were by myself, I'd still be scared. I'm gonna give it a solid 8 out of 10. And the clapping hands still made me nearly shit my pants. I don't think any of their movies ever lived up to that afterwards. Maybe part 2. 8 out of 10. Okay, bye. This is my temporary home. It's not where I belong. Windows and rooms that we're passing through.